So I'm hatless. So I'm going to ditch the hat for a while, but not in response to anyone in particular. Just so you know. Chapter 1 of The Scarlet Letter is really short, which is a good thing. And generally I will not read the entire chapter, that's your job. But for this one, I'll read most of it, and we'll see what happens. A throng of bearded men, in sad-colored garments and gray, steeple-crowned hats, intermixed with women, some wearing hoods and others bare... This sucks! Nope. Sorry, that was last time. Was assembled in front of a wooden edifice, which means big building, the door of which was heavily timbered with oak and studded with iron spikes. The founders of a new colony, whatever utopia of human virtue and happiness they might originally project, have invariably recognized it among their earliest practical necessities to allot a portion of the virgin soil as a cemetery, and another portion as the site of a bakery. I'm kidding, it's a prison. It's very puritanical. You either can die, or you can be in prison, or you can live your life in prison, but we'll see how that works. In accordance with this rule, it may safely be assumed that the forefathers of Boston had built the first prison house, somewhere in the vicinity of Cornhill, almost as seasonably as they marked out the first burial ground on Isaac Johnson's lot, and round about his grave, which subsequently became the nucleus of all the congregated sepulchres in the old churchyard of King's Chapel. Okay, big deal. It's a big cemetery. Certain it is that some 15 or 20 years after the settlement of the town, the wooden jail already marked with weather stains and other indications of age, which gave a yet darker aspect to its beetle-browed and gloomy front. The rust on the ponderous ironwork of its oaken door looked more antique than anything else in the New World. Like all that pertains to crime, it seemed never to have known a youthful era. And think about that. This text is filled with little life lessons. We never think of the serial killer playing in kindergarten with his best friends. It's not part of what, even today in America, we understand. Once someone does something, they're pretty much branded, as you'll see. Before this ugly edifice, and between it and the wheel track of the street, was a grass plot, much overgrown with burdock, pigweed, apple peru, and such unsightly vegetation, which evidently found something congenial on the soil that had so early born the black flower of civilized society, a prison. So Daniel Hawthorne gets a little excited sometimes. But on the side of the portal, and rooted almost at the threshold, was a wild rose bush, covered in this month of June. Turn the page. With its delicate gems, which might be imagined to offer their fragrance and fragile beauty to the prisoner as he, or in this case, she, went in, and to the condemned criminal as he came forth to his doom, in token that the deep heart of nature could pity and be kind to him. This is key. Nature. Nature is forgiving. Nature doesn't even have to forgive because it doesn't really have sin. If the snake kills for its dinner, it's not like he feels as though he's murdered something. He just had to eat. This rosebush, by a strange chance, has been kept alive in history, but whether it had merely survived out of the stern old wilderness, so long after the fall by gigantic pines and oaks that originally overshadowed it, or whether, as there is fair authority for believing, it had sprung up under the footsteps of the sainted Anne Hutchinson. Oh. Sweetie has something to say. What was that? Who the hell is Anne Hutchinson? Well, got her a little upset. Anne Hutchinson. Well, I'll tell you. Anne Hutchinson, strangely enough, A for Anne, was a famous antinomian. Antinomians, unlike Puritans, believed that you could enter God's grace, or enter heaven, through your good works. That was pretty much blasphemy to the Puritan culture, and it's important to understand that. Finding it so directly on the threshold of our narrative, which is now about to issue from that auspicious portal, good grief, we could hardly do otherwise than pluck one of its flowers and present it to the reader. Here's a flower. Thank you so much, Nathaniel Hawthorne. Now I have a flower and a book I don't want to read. Patience. It may serve, let us hope, to symbolize some sweet moral blossom that may be found along the track, or relieve the darkening close of a tale of human frailty and sorrow. Pay attention to the rose bush. Pay attention to roses throughout the story. It is the link between the romantic ideals of Nathaniel Hawthorne and the stringent code of the Puritan life. Good luck.